I'm Emmanuel Mendoza Navarro. I'm a student of engineering from the National Autonomous University of Mexico, and I'm going to talk about a promising idea that in the past were explored and now had been in constant development, but now the implementation of the 5G technology open new opportunities. The title of the article is a new telesurgery generation supported by 5G technology, benefits and future trends. Move please. Okay. Uh, the interconnect world has been in increased development, and the monitoring of complex tasks is a clear example of this. Today we can find in the industry many kind of activities which are automated and manipulated to the distance. The name of these activities is teleoperation, and explained in an easy way is a procedure that involves human and machine interactions with the purpose to perform any kind of task. The popularity of these systems is based on the minimization of the risks of the operators and the minimization of the cost relate. Okay, now we find, return please. Now we find the operation system performing tasks in inhospitable environments such as space and in nuclear plants, battlefields, underwater operation, mining, and among others. Well, in the figure 1, we can observe a person who is still operating an automatic hammer for mining. In the figure 2, we see a not tripulated aircraft from the USA Air Force. In the figure 4, we observe a robot of a spatial explorer mission from the NASA. Yes, it is the rover. Move, please. The telesurgery is a direct application of teleoperation in medicine. The telesurgery has a simple principle. It is a procedure where an specialist site doctor performs a surgery to one patient with the aid of robotic system, with the particularity that both the surgeon and the patient are in different locations. In the figure 5, we see a surgeon which is performing the first transatlantic telesurgery in 2001, and it was performing between New York City and Strasbourg, France. Next, please. The telesurgery systems are given by two principal elements: a robotic surgery equipment that in technical terms acts as a slave, and it must be installed in a high specialized operation room, as we see in the figure 6 on the left. And the second component is the master console, and it acts as a master and is operated by a trained surgeon. The information go back and forth and leave in form of instruction from the control console until it reach the robotic equipment, and coming back in audible and visual way to the master console. It is important to know that the communication between the principal elements must be fast and stable for do the procedures, because there is not room for mistake or perturbation, because it could put the patient's life in danger. Well, this is the principal obstacle that telesurgery faces. For this reason, since the beginning of the telesurgery, the use of high-speed network has been crucial. Next, please. Um, well, it's important to note that there are two principal limitants in the telesurgery implementation. One is related with interconnection because the network must be high speed. Well, it means that telesurgery requires a reduction in network delays for working near to the real-time transmission. Yes, um, and give to the surgeons the perception of it is operate in real time, right? It must be stable. It is a crucial aspect because connectivity must be available in every moment during the surgeries. It must be, yes, have to be security in communication. The surgery needs to depend in security protocols that protects the flux of information. The confidential information and even the patient's life could be compromised for cyberattacks, yes, cybernetic attacks. Another limitant is associated with the high cost of telesurgery implementation. The initial investment and maintenance costs require special attention when a hospital is considering the acquisition of equipment for telesurgery. Um, it's important to note that telesurgery robotic system is around $1 or $2 million, plus the installation, plus the consumables, plus the maintenance cost, plus the network cost, which makes it unaffordable for healthy systems in developing countries. Move, please. Yes, since its conception, important telesurgery advantage and application had been identified for example, remote and difficult access places are a large obstacle for many people around the world, especially in developing countries where the transportation routes are limited. The telesurgery make possible that patients could receive the service at their local hospitals rather than traveling a long distance. Mm, the last generations of telesurgery equipment integrates and advances controls and feedback systems capable of reducing the tremors and explaining in other words, these systems are able to manage fine manipulations without complications. So the telesurgery is a minimal invasive procedure because the thin incisions made in comparison to the incisions made in a traditional surgery techniques. As a result, the patients present with lower blood loss and gets faster recovery. It's possible to link experts of different parts of the world that evaluate in real time the execution of high complex procedures. Yes. Um, yes. The telesurgery has gotten a special interest for aerospatial and naval industry because of the possibility of bringing specialized surgical care in space on ship and on ships. Move, please. um, help the future trends is turning around the healthcare in space and the nanotechnologies. And healthcare in space is has been controlled by a wider group, and since the decade of the 70s, many people have been working on this. And these robotic systems had been implemented successfully for training crews. However, there is a long way to study, for example, in surgeries without gravity. And maybe in the next few years, we will see arrive new generation of nanorobotic systems able to perform procedures that now are unimaginable. Next, please. Mm, During recent years, the evolution of mobile network has augmented the speed and capacity of information transmission, which is changing the paradigms of the way the humanity lives, works, and communicates. The 5G technology allows more stable data transmission with a latency delays of 1 to 2 milliseconds and a bandwidth at least 100 times the one reached by its predecessor. Yes. Mm, Recent telesurgery using 5G wireless connection had been successful and have reported 264 milliseconds of total delay with a resolution recording in 4K, and have given a real-time transmission and sensation for the surgeon. Move, please. Um, Telesurgery support by 5G technology has the ability to widen specialized surgical services in a significant way. Nonetheless, there are places in the world where telesurgery is not easy to access because of the commonly high specialty medical attention is just available in large cities. This represents a serious obstacle in transferring patients from the distant rural areas or cities that require specialized surgical interventions. Um, for this reason, we present the proposal of a mobile unit of telesurgery to bring high specialty surgical to the people that need um, surgeries in their local medical unit. Next, please. As a result, our purpose is the conceptual design of a mobile unit that made telesurgery and includes an equipped surgical unit inside a tractor trailer, 18 wheels, and the mobile unit must travel to rural zones and make stays in the local medical units and perform telesurgeries through 5G wireless network. Next, please. Mm, uh, in order to guarantee the right functionality of sorry um, um, the telesurgery needs management for planning. and with the objective of optimizing resources, the requests will be carefully reviewed for planning strategical stays to attend any patient in the place where the medical unit get parked. Next, please. Um, in order to guarantee the right functionality of the medical unit, a qualified medical team integrated by surgeon, nurse, and a biomedical engineer needs to be on board the unit for attending to every need or emergency that could appear inside the unit. Next, please. Um, The mobile unit must include a completely instrumented surgery room, a recovery room, a sterilization area, a medical staff station, and a medicine stock, as we see in the figure 12. Also need services like uninterrupted electrical supplies, a special air conditional system, supply of medical gases, and potable water supply. Finally, it is important to remind that it is just a conceptual purpose that had been described to attend the health right for everyone. Next, please. Okay, that's it. Thank you, and we are going to respond the questions.